Hi everybody. As you can see, I'm back in my bedroom again. The paperwork I was waiting for didn't come in, but I didn't want to be late and I didn't want to reschedule this, so I'm going to go ahead and do it from here. Just kind of ignore the background and we can get going. Okay, today we're talking about compromising, right? So your child's ADHD brain, I'm sure you know it, doesn't always, one of the beautiful things I guess about executive function is it doesn't always work the same every single day and can actually change from hour to hour. The priorities are going to change, what they can motivate themselves to do, what they're interested in. Even things like nutrition and stresses of the day and how much sleep they've gotten, it all can change how they interpret and then execute their day. And that is even with a plan. You can have everything lined out exactly right. The things that you want them to do, but how they do it, when they do it, all of that is going to change. And so that's why I want to talk about compromise today. I know often when dealing, let's say, with your partner, right? You have a conversation about chores or you want some extra help with the housework and whatever. And so they agree. And the next day it's their day and they're going to do laundry for you. Well, you kind of have to accept their version of doing laundry. It's not going to be the same as yours. They might fold the towels a little bit differently. They might sort the laundry differently. But if you're going to accept the help they give, then you have to accept the way they give the help, right? Because when you turn around and criticize, it's going to cause more fights because nobody does things exactly the same. Well, it's the same thing with kids. So you may want the bed made one way, or you want them to play outside at one point during the day, or read a different time of day, or play their video games at a different time of day. But you kind of have to work with what you're working with, right? Because they're not you. Control feels very comfortable, and we all want to do it because it gives us a sense of safety. But in reality, we can't control anything. Like I know, I'll put some notes down, guys, just because I've been distracted all day, so I didn't want to forget anything. My youngest one has a thing with closing cabinets and drawers, right? So he gladly will help me unload the dishwasher, put away clean dishes, right? But then every single cabinet in the kitchen is left wide open. It drives me crazy. I want them closed, I don't understand why he doesn't do it. But the point is, it's not important to him, right? So I know that by asking his help, gonna have to do one of two things. I'm either gonna have to wait, and when he's done, next time I walk to the kitchen, close all the cabinet doors behind him, or I can call him back out of his room and say, hey, Liam, you forgot to close all the cabinets. Come back and do that for me. And he will. But my expectation that he does it the way I do it would actually be unfair to him because it's posing my thought process and my priorities and what's important to me onto him. And it's not, you wouldn't do that to a stranger, right? You wouldn't expect that a stranger's going to believe and think and value things exactly the same way you do. Well, it comes to your child as well. So you kind of have to accept their differences as it is. Because yelling and punishing and arguing, you're not going to change it, right? Eventually, he'll get tired of having to stop whatever he's doing to come out a second time to close the cabinet doors. But in the meantime, those are kind of my choices to ensure that I'm not putting extra pressure on him, or we're not yelling, we're not arguing, we're not fighting. And so as you guys move forward through this challenge and your list of things that you want to do, not do, more of, less of, keep that in mind. And it's also a great exercise in the first step of any coaching that we would do together in presence, because it forces you to recognize, okay, where am I putting my values onto them, right? So you have to slow down. You've got to calm your nervous system. Then you've got to see things objectively and then see it compassionately through their eyes, right? So you might have that first day where all the 5 things that you wanted done are not done, got done beautifully easy. The next day, half of them forgotten, or some of them are done backwards or not at all. When you can calm your nervous system and then you can look at it objectively and quit projecting yourself, your values, your need to control onto them, then you can start recognizing them for who they are. Then your compromises can be very productive, because once you'll be able to see the world through their eyes, understand that they interpret it differently than you, then when you're moving forward and you're changing schedules, you're changing plans, you're changing expectations, you can do it in a way that's going to be productive for both of you. Because you're not going to be all stressed and nervous and angry and aggravated, then they're going to feel seen and heard and valued when you're choosing to work with them rather than against them. And that's the whole point of this, right? This compassionate parenting isn't about, and especially with an ADHD child, the objective is not obedience, right? It's an opportunity to learn your child, work with what they are, and so that you guys can be partners moving forward rather than this constant strife and struggle and who's doing what and who says what and who's right and who's wrong. It's taking that combative aspect out of the way, and so that you guys can become partners. And when you become partners, then you can teach him or her that they're going to learn to trust you. And that trust will actually turn you into an advocate later on in life when school gets back started again and the different things like that. And that open communication. And your willingness to listen is the best way to get your child to speak to you. And so, like I said, keep in mind, compromise is necessary. It's not always bad. And just look at this as an exercise in presence and an exercise in controlling your nervous system. You recognize where you're pushing your values onto them. And you can also practice controlling your emotions so you can step back and look at things a little more objectively. And I did do a video earlier today, if you haven't seen it, on 3 different methods that I use to kind of calm my, when I'm triggered, the things I'm aggravated and frustrated and angry about, right? There's things that you can do to get out of your mind, into your body, process your feelings, so that when you're dealing with your child, you can be, the conversation can be more productive because you're going to be communicating from a better place, and they're going to be more responsive to what you want and what you need. Please, as always, put comments, questions anywhere in the group under the videos, and I will respond to them as soon as you put them out there. Thanks, and have a good evening.